Hiya, welcome to my garden. I'm Charlotte from AGK Norwich, and today I'm going to be doing a really quick and easy gardening project that everyone can do at home, regardless of whether you have a big garden or a tiny patio like me, or a balcony or even a windowsill. We're going to be planting quick and easy salad leaves, and also repurposing things that you've probably got lying around the house. So we're doing a bit for the environment as well. We all know that gardening is a really, really fantastic activity to be doing right now. It's good exercise, it gets us out into the fresh air, and it's also really good for mental well-being. It helps to relieve stress. There's something really satisfying about planting a seed, watching it blossom into something, and it's even better if you get to eat it at the end. So give this a go. Okay, so we're going to be making these repurposed planters. I've used an old squash bottle and I've hung it to my trellis. Now what I've done is I've cut a hole here, and you can see it's still a little bit sharp, so I wouldn't recommend this particularly for very small young fingers. I might hang it up a bit high if the kids or the grandkids are likely to hurt themselves on it. But it's not too bad, see, I can run my finger along it. And I've hung it here on my trellis using old garden string. You could use anything, a bit of wool, whatever you've got lying around. The really important thing is to pop drainage holes in regular intervals throughout the bottom of the bottle, just to make sure that the soil doesn't get completely waterlogged. And this is planted with spinach that I planted maybe a couple of weeks ago. So you can see how quickly it sprouts up. It's so quick. It's the most satisfying thing in the world. And the beauty of this project is that, you know, if you're stuck at home, maybe you're relying on supermarket delivery, or you know, you're relying on someone else to drop off the food, or maybe you just can't go to the supermarket as often as you'd like. The first thing that's going to go horrible in the fridge is shop bought salad leaves. So if you can grow them at home, then it might save you a trip to the supermarket, and also means you can have some fresh produce regularly. Spinach, as Popeye would testify, is incredibly good for you. It's full of iron, full of good stuff, so a really good thing to prioritise growing if you can. Okay, so here we are. I've cut the hole in the bottle, and I've also stabbed some holes in the bottom for drainage, and I've also put a hole just here. That's for when I'm going to need to thread the string through to hang it off my trellis. Obviously you don't need to do that if you're not going to be hanging it anywhere. Here we go. So I'm going to start off by filling that with lovely compost. If you can't get hold of compost, then in a pinch you can use just normal soil. It's not ideal, but if you can't get to the shops, you can't get a delivery, then it's not the end of the world. Spinach actually doesn't really mind having slightly poor soil. There we are. So give that a tap and a shake, just to get rid of any air bubbles, let it settle, and also just take a moment to pick out any big heavy lumps. Great. So what I'm now going to do is pre-water that. That'll help me to see if the soil is completely level and settled, and also once it's pre-watered I don't have to do it afterwards, and my seeds won't wash away. So now we're ready for our seeds. I'm planting spinach, but you can use rocket or any kind of pre-made cut and come again salad leaves. I'm going to plant 3 in here. Any more than 3 would be really crowded, and actually I always plant 1 more than I'd like to, because then if they don't all sprout I haven't wasted my time. So I'm just pushing that in about as far as my sort of middle joint of my finger, just covering that up gently. Lovely, lovely. So they're all covered up, and that is ready to go. So here is the finished product hung up on my trellis. I would always recommend hanging up something like spinach or salad leaves if you can, just because the slugs love them. So if you can get them up off the ground, then that's better. The lovely thing about this is that this is a really shady patch in my garden. It only gets sun for a few hours a day. And actually spinach really doesn't mind that. Spinach would prefer to be somewhere a little bit cooler and just a little bit shadier. So it's really perfect for growing on like a windowsill if you don't get a huge amount of light there. If you are growing on a windowsill, I would just recommend putting a plate underneath to catch any water. And here is the one that I planted a few weeks ago. Again, you can see these sort of long baby leaves. Don't cut these, don't eat them. Once you start getting these fat leaves, they're the true leaves. So I'll leave those to get a little bit bigger, and then I'll enjoy those on my salad, and they'll be delicious.